The internet was built to connect people, to shorten distances, to create trust between strangers. But over the last 2 decades, investigators have uncovered a darker reality, one in which false identities are used not just to deceive, but to control, isolate, and destroy lives. Catfishing is often trivialized as emotional dishonesty, something to be embarrassed about. In reality, some cases escalate into psychological captivity, stalking, financial ruin, and even violence. This documentary examines 4 real catfish cases, reconstructed from police investigations, court records, and victim testimony. Each case began with a simple online message. Each escalated quietly, behind the curtain of a screen, and each ended in ways no one could have expected. These are not stories about embarrassment. They are stories about power and the terrifying ways it can be used. Our first case begins in 2017. A widowed man in northern England, struggling with grief, joined an online support forum for people coping with loss. He wasn't looking for a relationship. He was looking for understanding from others who knew his pain. Within days, he received a private message from a woman claiming to live abroad. Her profile appeared completely genuine. It had professional photographs, years of online history, and even mutual connections within the forum. Their conversations started slow, thoughtful, and deeply personal. They shared stories about their lives, their losses, and their hopes for the future. Over several months, the connection intensified. Text messages evolved into voice messages, the sound of her voice becoming a comfort. Video calls were promised, creating a sense of anticipation, but they were always postponed at the last minute for one reason or another. Plans to meet in person were made, then delayed, then remade. Then the requests for financial help began. They were small at first and entirely plausible. Medical fees for an unexpected illness, money to fix a travel issue, a temporary emergency that needed a quick fix. Each request came with a promise of repayment and a story that tugged at his empathy. By the time the man started to feel a flicker of doubt, he had already shared deeply personal details about his life. His home address, his daily routine, even photographs of his house and the street he lived on. When investigators later analyzed the Catfish's account, they found something deeply alarming. The person on the other end had access to information that was never shared online. They knew about deliveries that had arrived at his house, mentioning specific companies. They referenced local landmarks he frequented. They even knew about personal purchases he had made in town. The deception wasn't just emotional, it was observational. The police later confirmed the chilling truth. The Catfish lived within traveling distance. They weren't a world away. They were practically a neighbor. The online relationship ended, but the fear of being watched did not. Our second case started where so many friendships do now, on a popular social media platform used by teenagers. A 14-year-old girl, navigating the complexities of adolescence, befriended someone who claimed to be the same age. Their profiles were almost mirror images of each other. They liked the same music, shared similar struggles with mental health, and had the exact same sense of humor. It felt like she had finally found someone who truly understood her. What her parents didn't see was the subtle, insidious pattern that was forming. The new friend slowly began to encourage secrecy. Her parents were framed as controlling and untrusting. Her school friends were painted as jealous and fake. Her teachers were portrayed as unsafe adults who just didn't get it. Over time, the girl withdrew from her real-world relationships, pulling away from family and friends until her online confidant was her only source of support. She was isolated, convinced that this one person was the only one she could trust. Police later discovered the account was operated by an adult male. He wasn't just using one fake profile. He had created multiple accounts, all interacting with each other, to reinforce the same manipulative narrative. It was a carefully constructed echo chamber designed to groom her. Safeguarding experts who reviewed the case described it not as casual deception, but as coercive grooming. Although no physical contact ever occurred, the psychological impact was profound. For a teenager, trust is a fragile thing, and once broken at that age, it proved incredibly difficult to rebuild. The third case shows just how quickly online deception can spiral into real-world danger. In 2018, a woman in her 30s met a man on a popular dating app. His profile was crafted to portray vulnerability. He presented himself as insecure, emotionally sensitive, and haunted by a troubled past. This persona made her feel needed, like she could be the one to help him. The relationship escalated with alarming speed. Messages became constant, a relentless stream of attention that felt flattering at first, but soon became suffocating. Her boundaries were steadily eroded as he demanded more and more of her time and emotional energy. When the woman recognized the red flags and attempted to end the relationship, the man's tone shifted dramatically. The loving messages became threatening. The threats became manipulative. Then he took it a step further. He began impersonating her. He hacked into her personal accounts, sending messages to her friends and family. He even contacted her employer, sending fabricated and damaging emails that put her job at risk. He was determined to destroy her life because she had tried to leave his. Police investigations later revealed a disturbing history. He had used multiple fake identities across various dating platforms, specifically targeting women who showed similar signs of empathy and vulnerability. Catfishing wasn't the crime that finally brought him to police attention. It was the gateway. The case ended in his prosecution, but only after serious, tangible harm had already been done. Our final case is perhaps the most unsettling because it shows how the catfish can already be inside your life. It involved an entire family. They started receiving messages from a profile claiming to belong to a distant relative who had fallen on hard times and was in financial distress. The language used in the messages was familiar, full of personal turns of phrase and shared memories that only a family member would know. The details of their supposed hardship were specific and believable. Convinced they were helping one of their own, the family sent money. It started as a one-time loan, but soon became a repeated cycle of requests and payments. When the pleas for money suddenly stopped and the account disappeared, the family grew suspicious and contacted the police. The investigation didn't lead to a stranger in another country. Instead, authorities traced the communications to someone living nearby, someone who attended the same community events as the family, someone who had been welcomed into their home and had shared meals at their table. The deception didn't rely on sophisticated technology alone. It relied on proximity and a deep betrayal of personal trust. In this case, that trust wasn't broken online. It was broken in person by someone they thought they knew. Across all four of these disturbing cases, a consistent pattern emerges. Catfishing becomes truly dangerous when deception evolves into control. Victims are systematically isolated from their support networks. They are encouraged to doubt their own reality and perception. They are actively discouraged from seeking help from friends, family, or authorities. And gradually they are made dependent on the catfish, whether emotionally, psychologically, or financially. The internet is not the threat here. The real threat is the abuse of power. Catfishing is not just about fake photos or made-up stories. It's about gaining access. Access to a person's deepest emotions, access to their daily routine, and most importantly, access to their trust. And once that access is granted, the damage can extend far beyond the screen and into every corner of a person's life. These stories are a stark reminder that our online interactions are not separate from our real lives. They are an integral part of it. And sometimes the most dangerous person you'll ever encounter is the one you believe you know, but have never truly met. Thank you for watching. If you found this investigation insightful, please consider subscribing for more deep dives into the hidden corners of our digital world.